Good morning, friends. We'll be getting started in about 3 to 4 minutes, but I want to give fair warning that we'll be using a bolster today to begin. So there's many things you can take for a bolster. We'll begin lying down on the bolster like this. So you can take a towel and wrap it around another mat. You can grab pillows. Pillows can be a little bit soft, but maybe a foam roller with a towel around it. If you have none of that and you have a block, you can always lay down on the block too.
Good morning, Rosie.
Cheryl, good morning. Let's see.
Good morning, everyone. I went up to get my bolster and look who took my mat.
Annie. Annie's right there. Oh my God, and she's so cute on that pink mat. So funny.
All right, I'll mute.
I'm glad you're here, Cheryl. Thanks for being here. Good morning. How are you, Tracy?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Good. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll get started. Just another minute, so grab a bolster or something like a bolster. We'll begin with heart opening. All right, my clock has donged 7. That means it's almost 7. So we'll be starting with a bolster today. If you don't have something that works like a bolster, you can roll up a towel, roll up another mat, put a blanket around it. But you can also use a block. It's just a little less comfortable. Still offers the same thing. So block, you'd find the height that's best for you. It goes right between the shoulder blades. And I know for me, I don't like my head to be low, so I would put another block back here. Otherwise, bolster, blanket, towel, whatever works to relax, opening up, taking our heart in the opposite direction, not only physically, but also metaphorically. And we'll be working a little bit on that today. So this is the official good morning, official start to class. Go ahead and recline on something. You know, if you have bright lights the way I do, if you don't need them, go ahead and dim them or close your eyes, allowing a sense of softness on the front side. In the physical aspect, as you all know, we're always going forward with our body, and that draws our shoulders and our head and everything in this forward direction, somewhat creating a lack of space in the heart and lung area. So by lying down and expanding, not only physically are we taking ourselves in the opposite direction, but also, as I said earlier, metaphorically. We're working through towards the last part of Sylvia Boorstein's book, Happiness is an Inside Job. And if you recall, she says to be genuinely mindful, which means open to every experience without hesitation or hiding, we must have a benevolent mind. This repeated benevolence in our mind liberates our mind from suffering. And so this is basically a habit, like so many other things we do, where we've created this little groove of the way we act. And so we want to replace any negative habits with benevolence and goodness. Sylvia Boorstein says that everyone's mind, when startled by challenge, responds spontaneously with an emotional state characteristic to him or her that confuses it. So what this means is, for instance, for me, I'm a big worrier. So my natural emotional state when my mind is startled is to go into a state of worry. And again, if you keep in mind, that's just a habit, and it's a habit that's open to change. The Buddha describes these states as disturbing energies, or kileshas. And that's in the Pali language. And if that sounds like klesha, you are correct. In the Yoga Sutra, we talk about the 5 kleshas, all of which stem from a lack of knowledge or ignorance. He says that they hinder the mind's capacity to clearly assess what's happening. As energies, they ruffle the mind's surface and distort the truth. And again, going back to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, that would be the second verse, which is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind. In other words, in order to see clearly, we have to still the waters, if you will, around the mind. Now, these 5 kileshas are desire, anger, fatigue, worry, and doubt. And basically, they are simply habits that we can be open to changing. So automatically, when something happens and I go right into my worry state, I can change that pattern of thinking by saying to myself, first recognizing it and just saying, oh, that's my worry state. And then eventually you come to a place where you can just switch the thoughts. Again, in our Hatha Yoga, we call that Pratipaksha Bhavana, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. Okay, so lastly, what I want to say, and then we'll come out of this, is that Sylvia Boorstein says that concentration dissolves these hindrances. She says that when her mind is concentrated, deeply relaxed and steady, filled with warm intention, then upsetting thoughts and feelings may arise, but they don't stick. And that's what we're shooting for. It's not that life itself is changing. Things still happen, but they don't stick to us, and we're less affected or unaffected by these hindrances. So before we come out of this nice, relaxing way to start class, go inside and think to yourself, what is your natural emotional state? Is it anger? Is it worry? Think of the things that you naturally go to, and then we'll have an intention of changing those. And we're going to mindfully start to make our way off of the bolster, but we'll stay on our spine. So that was 5 minutes on the bolster, 5 minutes of heart opening in the physical sense, and hopefully for you coming into a place of thinking in benevolence. From here, moving into flowing bridge pose, flip the palms upside down. Heels are close to your hips. Inhale, lift the hips up. Take a moment here to squeeze the glutes. And then exhale, roll back down, and we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift, squeeze the glutes, and lower back down. And again, inhale, hips up, squeezing the glutes. Exhale, lower down. Give yourself a hug into the heart here with your legs. Rock yourself up and come to standing on your knees. Once you're here, lift all the way up. Arms come with you. And then as you exhale, hands draw behind you, resting hands on the hips. Shrug your shoulders up, pull the belly in, and then let the heart open again. And as you let the heart open, think of lengthening the tailbone, pushing the hips forward, and opening the front side again. You can let your head and neck go to a place that's comfortable for you at this very moment. Take one more little breath here. Belly pulls in to come back up, releasing hands to the mat for all fours, cat-cow. Inhale, expand your heart, look up, push into the earth as you exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lifting, filling up with goodness and benevolence. Exhale, round it out. Last one like this. Big inhale, all love, all goodness. And exhale, round it out. Come to a neutral spine. Extend your right arm nice and long and then needle underneath. So you can go as far as you like this morning, as long as it's living in truth. So remember, the hindrances or the kleshas distort our truth. So we have to let go of all ego things when we move into these physical postures. So maybe you stop short. Maybe you have a block underneath your right shoulder. That's perfect. Some of you may want to extend a little bit deeper by lifting the left arm and extending the left leg. If it's super easy, you'll start to take your balancing pose of lifting the left leg up. But play mindfully, working with each breath to help keep us centered so that we can focus and concentrate on this present moment right now. Coming back to a neutral place, we'll unfurl, lift up, and extend your arms forward for a nice stretch in the front side. Now, we did a good warm-up in the beginning, but if it's just not enough for you yet, instead of extending long, maybe you take your hands out to the side with tented fingertips and just express your chest and chin towards the earth. Keep your hips nice and high. They stay up over the knees in each shape. So extended or arms out to the side. One of the ways you can gauge whether or not you're in a good place for you is if you can still breathe without too much effort. Make your way back up to neutral, staying on knees or not for plank pose, lower knees or not for chaturanga. And inhale, we'll come into a little up dog where we hold for a moment. And in this holding up dog, look over your left shoulder. Let the right shoulder come forward as you twist. Come back to neutral. We'll go opposite direction. Look over right shoulder and then kind of exaggerate the lean by drawing the left shoulder forward. Come back to neutral. Tuck your toes, lift up for downward facing dog. And here we pedal it out, stretching into the calves, the way back here in the Achilles tendon in the ankle, getting into your heels, never needing to straighten the legs. Bent legs are fine. And keeping the toes tucked, let's come to a hovering cat-cow. So the knees are just 1 inch above the earth. Inhale, expand your heart, keeping your knees hovering. And then exhale, contract. And 2 more like that. And in this physical posture, you could think of this as an upsetting thing to the body. Can you look at it with benevolence? Exhale, round it. Take 1 more. So even in these physical senses, we try to balance out the physical needs and abilities with benevolence. Last one, we come back down, releasing the feet. Go ahead and shake your little feet out. Extend left arm long and needle underneath, rolling onto left shoulder, looking underneath the right armpit. Maybe we're staying right here, resting with the bolster or block underneath the left arm, or going a little deeper, perhaps extending right leg, and maybe even taking a balancing pose here of your choice. It all includes soft breath, which in turn relates to benevolence in our own physical body. And let's unfurl, coming back to that center, and extend your body long, stretching the front side again, choosing the shape that's most appropriate for you right now. Coming back up to a neutral place, tuck your toes under, lift back up. We'll take plank pose, or maybe you're on your knees, lower chaturanga. Lift your beautiful heart. and come back downward facing dog. Soft ujjayi breaths. So just take a little mental scan here of what might have been your default. Where did you go in your thinking process? To me, I'm automatically worrying. Am I saying these words right? I get no feedback, so I don't know. And I worry about somebody hurting themselves. So I have to retrain my mind. It's okay to worry, but I have to not respond to it so strongly. All right, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Once you're at the front, inhale up halfway. Exhale, release forward, just let it go. Inhale to standing, and we'll just keep moving here to warm our body. Big inhale at the top again, pull your belly in. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back. If you're hopping, go straight to chaturanga. Otherwise, stop along the way. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Right leg lifts. Pass it between your hands. Drop to left knee. Inhale, big lift coming up. Exhale, hands behind you. Right thumb on top, interlacing. Roll the shoulders up and back. Kind of nice open heart here. And then as you exhale next, come forward, hinging over the right leg. Release hands, tented fingertips nice and wide. We'll do the Hanuman flow. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge over the right leg. Inhale, round the spine, heavy head to come up. Flat back, exhale, hinge. Take one more. Heavy head, rounded spine. Exhale over flat leg. Releasing to all fours. Chin, chest, and knees. Squeeze elbows in, lower chin and chest. Scoop through to your little mini cobra pose. Roll the shoulders up and back. Now tuck the toes, lift up, downward facing dog. One breath in and out. Left leg comes through, drop to right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands behind you, left thumb interlaced on top. Shrug your shoulders up and then release back to expand the front side. Keep your interlaced fingers just for half a breath as we hinge forward over left leg. Release the hands, tented fingertips nice and wide for the Hanuman flow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, heavy head, roll it up. Exhale, let it go. Last one, heavy, rounded, and then flat back, let it go. Releasing back to all fours, squeeze your elbows in, lower chin and chest, scoop it through to mini cobra pose, and then take it right back up, downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath, nice deep breaths in, thinking benevolence, and out, thinking benevolence. So the idea is that we face and accept every situation as it is, but we try to respond with benevolence as best we can. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway. Exhale, release forward. Big in-breath to come to standing all the way to the top. Let's just keep moving. Pull your belly in. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back. Coming up dog or cobra. And downward facing. All right, just to shake it up a little bit, we start left leg. Left leg comes forward, high lunge position. Big breath, inhale, lift up. Taking left hand to the hip. Arm swings with the right arm, coming forward 3 times. And we'll take it back 3 times. Keep the hinge, keep the lunge. Big inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, hands to the floor, and you decide on your descent. We take the left leg back, either taking 1 or 2 legs forward into plank, lowering 1 or 2-legged. Inhale, 1 or 2 legs. And then exhale, we all meet up. Left leg lifts for 1-legged dog. Then replace the leg, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg forward, high lunge position. Take it up. Right hand to the hip. Arm swings with the left arm 3 times forward. Make sure you're keeping your lunge. 3 times backward. Both arms lift. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right leg back for a 1 or 2-legged descent. 1 or 2-legged up dog or cobra. 1-legged downward facing. Right leg lifts, stretch it. And then meet in down dog. Back to Ujjayi breath. Nice deep breaths in and out. One more. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to standing. Then hands come to heart. Letting your thumbs touch your heart. Roll your shoulders back, lengthening through the spine, pulling the belly in, feeling the sense of connection from toes all the way to head. The idea is ever expanding. We start with our own breath. We're aware of our breath. Then we become aware of all the body coming from the center to the ends. And in that same light, where we consider benevolence and goodness for ourselves and the ones we love, can we expand that to include people that are our friends, people that we don't know that are neutral, and then ultimately people that we think we don't like. We want to expand our love, compassion, and benevolence towards them as well. Let's begin. Inhale, arms lift, strong belly. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back straight through to chaturanga, or maybe you're holding plank today. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. One breath. All right, right leg lifts. Nice big stretch as we stack the hips, bend the knee. Lift your head, look over your left shoulder. So we're looking for the foot to appear in our vision on the left side. And even if it doesn't, that's okay. It's the intention of being there. Stay here, maybe flip, maybe side plank, anything that's good for you. And we all come back up, right leg lifts. Twisting underneath so the leg comes under our body towards the left. If it's okay, left arm lifts as well. Coming back, right knee to nose, forward in plank. Exhale, one-legged dog. Right knee to nose, forward in plank. Exhale, one-legged dog. This is the last one. Forward knee to nose. Really pull it in, tuck and round. Plant the foot, low lunge position. Big in-breath, lift it up. Flipping the palms to face the back, maybe. Trying to lift up out of the left knee and pull the right hip crease back. Draw the hands behind you. Again, right thumb on top, interlaced. Shrug your shoulders up. And then let them slide down as you take the hands down the left leg, or maybe you're just staying right here at the hip. All are good. And keeping all that space you just created on the front side, come up, hinge forward. We'll just take one breath with the interlaced hands as we come over our right leg for a Hanuman stretch. And then we'll add the arms for better support so that you can now go into whatever your Hanuman is at 7:20 on Tuesday morning. So it could be half, it could be full. They're all good. You just want to find the one that works best for you and work in the shape that's benevolent to your body. So we start with benevolence in ourselves, in our physical body, and then we expand that. Let's take another big breath. Tippy toe the foot right back. Get your left leg prepared for Virabhadrasana A, Warrior One. So we'll step it out a little bit, and then inhale, lifting all the way up. Again, we flip the palms to face behind us. Pull the belly in, pull the right hip crease back, and know that our intention one day is to have the right thigh parallel to the floor. Big open heart here. Now take hold of your left wrist. Give yourself a nice big pull, and then stretch to the right side. At the same time, keep this right hip crease back. And then pay attention to your right knee. Oftentimes it wants to collapse inward. We want to make sure to keep it nice and up right over the ankle. Come on back to center. Let's take an eagle arm here. Left arm on top once or twice. Snuggle left shoulder down. Keep your warrior leg. Elbows only. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale up. And exhale down. Take one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale. As you exhale, release the arms. Come behind you again. Right thumb on top. Shrug the shoulders up and back. Find a big open space on the front side. Keep that open space. Keep the right hip crease back. And then dive inside right knee. As you dive inside, pay attention to the left foot. We want to make sure that the left pinky toe is working to keep us stable. So roll to that pinky side. If you find you're facing the left side of your mat, see if you can just pull the right hip crease back, and maybe that'll align you to be more center. If that's not happening, then actually walk your right foot out to the right. So we want to be center of the mat, paying attention to shoulders. If it's okay, arms lift. One more breath here. Draw yourself back up. We release everything to step to the back of the mat, separated feet, just a little bit, just hips distance. Hands at the hips, roll shoulders up and back. Exhale, hinge forward, peace fingers to the big toes. If they don't reach, stop along the way or grab your blocks too. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hinge forward. Let the head be heavy. So we want the crown of the head coming towards the floor. Slightly hinge into your toes. So if you had a mirror, you would see hips over heels instead of hips behind heels. Some people do take the hips in front a little bit, and we don't want that either. We're looking for that Goldilocks place, that perfect middle place right there. Last breath like this. Inhale, come up halfway, releasing hands. Step the feet together, squat it down for a nice deep chair pose as you lift up, shoulders coming over the hips. Half a breath more. And then prayer twist to the right. If you like the balancing pose, obviously we'll take it here. We seem to take that pose a lot if you're playing with it. Expand your heart, maybe just staying here, or hands to the floor, finding a place to rest on either the left arm, or you include the right by taking the right elbow to the right hip. You have to have a good twist for that. Wherever you are, we all meet back in that twisted chair, so we don't hold it too long. And then unfurl, coming up to standing. Left hand at the hip, peace fingers preparing for big toe pose. So if you know how to just kick the foot right up, and there you are, perfect. But if you're learning that, maybe you start knee first. Maybe you just stay at knee, or eventually take the toes. Setting a drishti point. Let's go ahead and take the leg out to the right. Now here, if you can set your drishti left, go for it. But if not, that's no big deal. Come on back to center. This is a good time to think benevolent thoughts. Releasing hands. Open your arms. Tilt forward, warrior three. Once you come down, square off the hips. Let the left toes look down, so there's an internal rotation in the left thigh. Expand your heart here, even in a place that might seem no fun. Another big breath. Right hand to floor or block, half moon pose. Again, the idea is to expand your heart in the physical sense, but we're also looking in the metaphorical sense. Bending the knee if you take Chandrachapa, kicking up. One more. Extend left leg long, and we'll tilt left, so we have right leg in front, warrior two. Again, like warrior one, in warrior two, we'd like to ideally be in a place where the right thigh is coming parallel to the floor, left pinky toe touching, hips and shoulders in one line, looking over your right fingertip. Reverse warrior, left arm down, pay attention to right knee, we don't let it collapse. And then see if you can lift the left arm here, hover and hold. Keep everything as it is, just straighten the right leg. And then lift all the way up, pivoting the toes in, so you're facing sideways, wide-legged forward fold. Roll shoulders up and back, pull belly in, exhale, hinge forward. Again, peace fingers to the big toes. As you inhale, lift up halfway, and then exhale, hinge forward. Letting the crown of the head come towards the floor, lifting the kneecaps, elbows out to the sides if you have your fingers and toes connected. If not, you just grab maybe the ankles or the knees, anything that's good. Shifting the weight forward a tiny bit so that heels and hips stay in about the same line. Now big inhale here and big exhale. We'll take one more. Keeping your belly nice and firm here. And we'll move into preparation for threading the needle. So walk yourself forward. We come into a wide-legged plank pose. And from here we start thread the needle. Left leg comes underneath as you point the toes to the right. Maybe you lift the right arm up, come back, wide legs, add a push-up, and we do opposite side. Right leg underneath, maybe left arm lifts, come back, wide legs, push up, and we'll do two more on each side. Left leg underneath, maybe right arm lifts, come back, wide-legged plank, push up, then right leg underneath, left arm lifts, come back, wide-legged plank, push up, lower it, and then one more set coming up, left leg under, push up, and then last one, right leg under, push up, and then make yourself back into that wide-legged forward fold. And hover here for just a half a breath, collecting your breath, lifting up halfway, hands to the hips, and then inhale all the way up. We'll pivot back to the right. So as you're facing the right, take your arms out to wings. Find this internal rotation. We want to have our elbows already prepared for reverse prayer if you can take it. So you would look like this. And then just simply draw the hands together. Now if that's not easy or simply, then go ahead and just take opposite elbow to opposite wrist. Or maybe today you just have your hands at your hips.